In this section of the PV Apps for Ed course, we are going to take a look at the Schoology materials and types. In Schoology, once I'm inside my course, I have the option of adding a boatload of different types of materials. I can go to Add Materials at the top left and bring this drop down to add the different types of materials, or Schoology gives me a second way. If I hover my cursor inside the course main feed here, you'll see a dotted line come across with that plus sign there. I can add any material type that way inside of the main course, or I can do that inside of a folder. So let's say I want to put something between this assignment and this test. I can just go ahead and click that dotted line. So there are a few different main types of materials that you'll add to your courses. You'll add folders to keep things organized. So you can have as many folders inside of one another to organize things as you like. I automatically put a folder on top of the course. In this one, per lesson. You might want to do that per unit. You may want to do that per topic. It just depends how you want to organize your course for your students. You'll know how to do that for your students' particular needs and as well as for your own sanity. So I've done this one by lesson, and in this lesson I've gone ahead and added a discussion where students can discuss the things being learned in this lesson. I've added an assignment and a test. I want to talk about the difference between those three because they're all ways that you can engage your students right inside of Schoology. So a discussion is where they can post a series of comments to add their input on a question or questions that you've asked inside the discussion, or externally just by simply posting it, let's say, on the board or asking it aloud. So my questions here are, what are your expectations of the course? And then the student's going to write a comment. I hope to learn all that there is about the internet. They can go ahead and post that to the course, and then I have the option as the teacher of letting others see that comment before they've posted, or saying to them, you need to post your own comment before they can see that post. And we'll take a look at that in another video. So that's a discussion. I also have the ability to add assignments, and an assignment is simply what it sounds like. I post here that I'd like them to do a certain task, and then they can either upload their own submission from their computer, they can send me a link from, let's say, Google Drive, or they can post in the comments section a question that they have about this assignment, or they can say something like, really great assignment. Of course, all the students are going to do that one. I also have the opportunity to quiz my students right inside of Schoology. Now I can do this as a formative during the lesson or summative after the lesson is already done. That's totally up to you. They give you a plethora of question types. You can have true or false, ordering, short answer, fill in the blank, or matching. Any of those are available to you, and you can simply do that by adding a question, picking your question type. You can add things from a question bank. Those would be stored in your resources, which we took a look at in another video. You can also add page breaks if you have a very long quiz and you want to break things up. That'll give your students some points at which they can kind of save, take a break, and come back to it a little bit later. So those are some of the main assignment types that you might do right in Schoology, but let's say we want to connect them to some things outside of Schoology, like an external link. So I posted a link here to Google because we know how hard that is to get to, where a student can click that link and it'll launch them right to Google. Or I can actually have this also display right inside of Schoology. Keep in mind, if I have it display inside of Schoology, it does take some time to connect that link to the outside source that you're trying to connect to, so it may not display right away. Personally, I like them connected to a new tab because that means that a student isn't going to get lost from that main feed, which I feel is important inside my Schoology course. So that is adding an assignment, test or quiz, an external link, a discussion. A page is just what it sounds like. It's a page of blank text that you can go ahead and add your own text to with directions, and that's about it. You can add a media album where it has a select set of pictures that you've determined you need to share with students to create a movie or a photo album, an infographic, a poster, something like that. And last but not least, you can upload a package which is similar to a file but will be a series of files instead. So those are some of the materials that you can add in Schoology to connect with your students or connect them to outside resources. This is just the jumping off platform of what you can do to start engaging your students inside of Schoology. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, learned something, and thank you for watching. In this portion of our PV Apps for Ed course on Schoology, we'll be talking about discussions. I'm going to jump into a discussion that I've already made to demonstrate a feature of discussions that allows me to black out answers to other users until they've actually answered the discussion. So I asked everybody in the course to simply list one thing that you've learned about Schoology so far from this part of the course. Here I've posted an answer as myself. I've also logged into this course as a different user under my same name, but you can see it's blacked out here until I answer the question. I'll post that to the group, and now I can see my answer here. If I refresh this page, I should be able to also see the other user's answer. Now I can see both users' answers, but before I posted my own answer here, I was not able to see that. So I'd like to show you how you can do that yourself. So when you're in Schoology and you add a discussion, you'll get a discussion form here. And you'll be able to fill that out with all your criteria, like a title and a description of what you want the students to do. But the thing we really want to pay attention to is down here at the bottom. Members can see others' responses before participating is one of the options. But if I click that, you'll notice it says require members to post before revealing others' responses. So if I have that highlighted and colored in that way, and I create this discussion, it's going to be like I just showed you, where it's grayed out for all the responses until I've posted my own. This is great for making students kind of think on their own and get their own inspiration for what you're asking them to do in the discussion before they're able to kind of just take Johnny's answer and repost it themselves. Oh yeah, I thought the same thing as Johnny. Well, when Jane always thinks the same thing as Johnny, that gets to be a little suspicious. So Schoology helped us out in that regard. Sometimes you'll want to use this feature and other times you won't. So it's nice to be able to toggle that on and off. If you forget which is which, just simply hover over until you see that text pop up, and you can toggle back and forth between those two options. So I hope you enjoyed this look at discussions and learned something, and thanks for watching.